Alright, so the German American Bund was active during the late 1930s into the 1940s, right up to Pearl Harbor is when a lot of the camps around the country were shut down. Camp Bergwall was actually a subsidiary of the Bund. It was under their business league, the German American Bund's business league, but it was still under the umbrella of the German American Bund. As far as our area, the largest camp in the United States would have been Camp Nordland. That was up in Andover. They still have remnants of that camp up there as well. The Bund was headquartered in New York City, in Manhattan, and so this was their country escape, their summer escape. They have summer camps up here. You would have everything that any other youth or summer camp would have, like the Boy Scouts, with a Nazi tinge to it, a Nazi cultural background to it. The camp was raided after Pearl Harbor. This is kind of like a garbage pit area, so there's a little cliff over here you can see, and they must have just taken maybe a bulldozer or maybe they did a manual, I don't know, and they just pushed everything off. And if we go down here,
yeah, let's see if we can find some cool stuff.
There's old glass bottles, beer bottles. There's electrical resistors from some kind of whether they had a generator or they ran electricity up here. Here's a
piece of china,
china bowl, or some kind of mug or what have you here.
Yeah, look at that.
And this stuff's just laying out here on the.
Look at that piece of pottery right there too.
Everywhere, yeah. There's all kinds of stuff here. This looks like it might be a piece of a house decorative, or something like that. Some kind of decorative something.
Yeah.
There's a mug.
Hey, watch out for ticks, Jim.
No problem. This is a mug here, and if you just go down, you just go down even a couple inches, and you're just pulling out mirror. There's some coal. You can just see the veranda over here and this area here, and the view that they had was just spectacular. You would have a view that you can see New York City, you can see all over Bay County, Bergen County.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a lot quieter back in 1930. You didn't have 287 run through the back, and there's a lot of history out there. But that's the one that basically from 1936 up until officially 1941, 42. But even after that, the Bund groups themselves survived long into the war, and even after the war as German singing societies. And they just kind of remorphed into different types of cultural organizations and kind of kept the spirit of the Bund alive.
As Hitler became more active in Europe leading up to World War II, the Bund and the DAB, the Germans here on Federal Hill, they also became more active. And they would land they would get off of the railroad at the Erie Railroad Station in Riverdale. They'd wait till everybody got there on Friday night, and then they would actually march up Hamburg Turnpike to Slater's Mill. The flags flying, the whole uniforms. Local legend is they were even goose stepping. And I talked to an old-time Riverdale guy, and he said they used to stand on the front porch and watch the Germans march by. So Bloomingdale, to head that off, and I got a copy of the New York Times article, probably the only time Bloomingdale ever made the New York Times, but Bloomingdale passed an ordinance that in order to have any kind of parade, you had to have a permit. And it was directly aimed at the Germans on Federal Hill. Bloomingdale was anticipating someday they may want to march up through Bloomingdale and Hamburg Turnpike. So Bloomingdale passed an ordinance, you had to get a permit. And just in case, a lot of the locals, like a couple of my uncles and the other members of the fire department, they had a plan that if the Germans ever tried to march off of Federal Hill and march across the Riverdale Bridge into Bloomingdale, that they'd have the fire trucks waiting there, and they were going to hit them with the fire hose to keep them on the other side of the bridge. So they never had to do that, but they were ready just in case.
How bummed are they from the family stories that they weren't able to do that?
Well, they might have been looking forward to it, I don't know.